Welcome back. Should Chicagoans have the freedom to turn their coach houses or garden apartments or attics into affordable housing? The mayor is pushing a new ordinance that would allow a limited number of those conversions per year on each block to help solve this current affordable housing crisis. It's got some major support and major pushback. Let's start with the supporting view. Here's 26th Ward Alderman Jesse Fuentes.
We have a housing shortage. And historically in a city like Chicago, additional dwelling units have been utilized to house family members, friends. They have also been utilized to be the more affordable units that residents in the city can rent. I have seen family members, friends, be able to live a good quality life because they have a garden unit or an attic unit that they can rent that's not at or above market rate. We need to increase the supply in the city of Chicago, and we need to be able to think creatively about how we do that. To be able to allow individuals who are in either RS1 or RS2 zoning districts to be able to build additional dwelling units by right, whether that's adding an attic unit or building a coach house, is going to increase the supply without having people having to go to red tape, going through the red tape and sort of having the financial burden of just bringing housing into the city of Chicago.
Some of the concerns are that it's just going to overcrowd some neighborhoods or some blocks. How do you address those concerns?
Look, I believe that we are a community that can house everyone and do it with dignity. It's not going to be sort of a legislation that creates overcrowding. There are restrictions with an additional dwelling unit per block per year to help with some of those concerns, right? I think that there are things in place that will address some of the concerns that some of my colleagues have about maybe a dozen ADUs going up on one block, right? This sort of piece of legislation helps sort of restrict some of that. But look, the reality is that we have unhoused individuals all over the city of Chicago, whether they're residing in tents under viaducts, in parks, or under huge underpasses, or whether they're doubled up, tripled up with other family members, or taking up a shelter bed in the city of Chicago. The reality is that we need to do better at providing housing. This ADU is just one tool in the toolbox for us to be able to do that.
Should alders have the ability to decide how many ADUs can go into their wards, or should they be able to be built by right?
Look, I think if we allow for some folks to restrict them and other folks to welcome them, we're going to continue to have an imbalance of housing options across the city of Chicago. I believe that diverse, different, affordable market rate, high density, low density options should exist all over the city.
And now joining us is 13th Ward Alderman Marty Quinn from the Southwest Side, who has been opposed to this ADU ordinance, more colloquially known as Granny Flats. Thanks for speaking with us, Alderman Quinn. You know the city does have a shortage of units, especially affordable units. Why not this as a solution?
Well, I would view the current proposal as an all-out attack by the mayor on the bungalow belt of the city of Chicago. The people that live in these homes are hardworking teachers, firefighters, police officers, and what the proposal will do, it will compromise the quality of life. And so a real concern, and I'm sounding the alarm, that this is bad policy for the long-term stability of Chicago and the uniqueness of each and every neighborhood.
And I know all this is still being negotiated. Should there be a compromise where alder people perhaps get to have the final say in their own ward?
I support that, of course. It's no secret what has taken place in the 13th Ward, where I took a similar question to the residents about Airbnb. And 7 years and 12,000 signatures later, we don't have Airbnb in the 13th Ward. So always involving community input and aldermanic oversight is a good thing. And today, the current proposal that the mayor is putting forth, there is no community input. There is no aldermanic oversight, and there is nothing that says that investors can come in and buy up these homes and take a raised ranch and turn it into a two-flat overnight. And that will come at the expense of the hardworking men and women of the city of Chicago who own these families that own single-family homes.
What's a solution for more affordable units and more units in general? As we're not seeing a whole lot of construction, we're not seeing a whole lot of cranes in the air right now.
Well, I think the mayor in his administration is focused way too much on renting and less about incentivizing to own, to create generational wealth. It's always rent this and rent that and build, and he should be looking at incentivizing to own, and really stabilizing neighborhoods, stabilizing the city of Chicago. So I think it's a failed viewpoint from the administration. He needs to focus more on incentivizing to own to create generational wealth.
Our thanks to 13th Ward Alderman Marty Quinn. And when we come back, City Council's longest serving member on why he's calling it quits and who he wants to replace him.